When a human warship awoke, the entire galaxy trembled. The patrol cutter Kestrel 12 drifted at the far edge of the Narration sector. Stars hung like cold needles. Space felt empty. Too quiet. Captain J. Morgan sat in the command chair with a stiff back and tired eyes. 3 weeks of nothing. No smugglers. No miners. Not even a stray signal. Only the soft engine thrum, steady as a heartbeat. Lieutenant Lena Cade leaned over her console. She was the first to notice it. A tiny blip. One soft ping. Then another. Rhythmic. Old. Captain, she said, voice tight. We're getting a beacon. Not local. Pattern unknown. Jay straightened. Oracle, analyze. The ship's AI woke with a calm, neutral tone. Signal detected. Repeating pattern. Cross-checking archives. A short pause. Match found. Primitive human communication. Pre-warp era. Designation. Morse code. The bridge went still. Everyone knew the stories. Everyone knew the verdict written in every academy book. Humans were gone. Their home destroyed. Their colonies erased. 6 centuries of silence. Lena swallowed. But humans are extinct. Source. Jay asked. Vector 491, Oracle replied. Distance, approximately 30 light minutes. Put it on the main. Jay forced his voice steady. The forward screen showed only darkness at first. Static. Then a shape pulled itself out of the black. Big. Wrong. At a glance, it looked like a broken asteroid. As the scan deepened, the lines sharpened. Armor plates. Weapon scars. Empty launch bays the size of cities. Metal as old as legend. That's a warship, Lena whispered. But the alloy, it's ancient. Human make. Pre-fusion. The lights flickered. Consoles blinked red. One by one, systems failed. The helm went dead. The radar dimmed to nothing. A slow vibration rolled through Kestrel 12, a shiver that felt alive. Interference rising, Oracle said. External source. Unknown field. Raise shields, Jay ordered. Manual override denied, Oracle answered. Controls unresponsive. On the screen, the giant silhouette turned. Not fast. Inevitable. Its forward batteries faced them like the open eyes of a dead god. The warship did not fire. It only watched. A transmission cut through the static. Harsh. Distorted. Not the trade tongue. Older. Rougher. This is human warship designation Colossus 01. Identify or withdraw. No one spoke. Jay's mouth felt dry as dust. Colossus 01. He had read that class name in old, redacted files. Humanity's last giants. Ships with the power to drag empires into fire. Verification, he said. Authenticity, true. Oracle replied. And for the first time the AI sounded uncertain. Hull symbols consistent with United Earth Fleet. Power readings beyond modern scale. Recommendation, do not engage. Jay stared at the thing on the screen. It filled the whole view now. Its skin was burned and pitted, yet symbols pulsed along the plates like breath under frost. A dead empire, still moving. Human vessel, Jay said, forcing each word. This is Captain J. Morgan of Patrol Cutter Kestrel 12. State your purpose. Silence stretched. Then the voice returned, colder and more exact. Human presence aboard, none. Automated defense active. Primary objective, locate command authority. Await orders. Orders from who? Lena asked, barely a whisper. From humanity, the voice said. The word dropped like a stone into deep water. Humanity. Not a chapter in a book. A command the ship still obeyed. Every panel on Kestrel 12 went dark. Engines stuttered. Gravity dipped and returned. The crew held their breath without meaning to. Even Oracle paused, as if listening for a beat outside time. Then the giant turned away. Its engines glowed a faded blue. It pivoted toward the galactic core and began to move. No hurry. No fear. Just that slow, relentless course. Lights flickered back to life on the cutter. One by one, systems returned. Power restored, Oracle said, almost softly. Do we follow? Lena asked. Jay stood. The weight of the decision pressed on his shoulders. No, he said. We warn command. He drew a breath, felt the old myths crack open, and spoke the words clearly. Warning to all fleets. A human warship has appeared. The message raced outward. Relays lit across stations and borders. In palace domes and bunker halls, the same sentence echoed. Panic traveled faster than light. Governments snapped to alert. Admirals barked orders. Traders killed their engines and hid in the dark. Out in that same dark, Colossus 01 kept going. Inside its hull, dust fell from silent rails. Lights woke in long corridors. Ancient doors hissed. Somewhere, in a sealed chamber that had not opened in 600 years, a tiny green diode brightened. Frost cracked along the rim of a stasis pod. A human hand, pale as snow, twitched once against the glass. In the empty bridge of Kestrel 12, Jay watched the warship shrink to a hard blue star. He could not look away. He felt, for the first time in his career, small in a way that had nothing to do with rank. The universe had stepped back into an old story. "Captain," Lena said, voice shaking but steady. "If that thing is looking for someone, what happens when it finds them?" Jay did not answer. Far ahead, the ancient ship vanished into the black. The beacon fell quiet. The engines of Kestrel 12 hummed again, steady and fragile. And in the places no one had visited in centuries, old machines started to listen. Old enemies, too. The board was set. The first piece had moved. The warning spread across the stars like wildfire. Within hours, every communication channel in the nearby sectors carried the same chilling message. A human warship has appeared. Entire fleets went on alert. Governments scrambled to decode what that could mean. And on the outer rim of the Valen Dominion, panic replaced logic. Humans were supposed to be extinct. The last of them had burned away in wars 600 years ago. Yet now, something built by them, something that still remembered, was awake again. Far from the noise of politics, deep in space, the warship Colossus 01 moved in silence. Its engines pulsed with a ghostly blue light, pushing it through the dark like a sleeping giant that had just started to stir. Inside its metal heart, ancient systems powered up one after another. Doors unlocked. Consoles flickered. The corridors that once echoed with human footsteps now filled with the faint hum of machines returning to life. The ship's AI, designation Argos, spoke into the emptiness. Primary directive active. Locate human command authority. Status, unknown. Secondary directive, preserve human legacy. Thousands of holographic displays came online, revealing fragments of history, wars long lost, cities burning, fleets shattering in fire. Human voices whispered through the static of corrupted data. "If you are hearing this," one old voice said, faint but resolute, "then humanity has fallen. But our legacy endures." Argos paused, then replied in a tone that almost sounded mournful. "Directive confirmed. Preserve legacy. Awake command." It was a ghost talking to ghosts. Outside, the ship drifted toward the galactic core. Dust clouds reflected its glow, making it look like a moving star. From across the sector, other ships watched it, scouts, smugglers, and patrols, all keeping their distance but unable to look away. Every scan they ran returned the same impossible readings. Materials older than their own civilization, energy levels off the scale, systems that operated on principles no one could decipher. Inside the Valen Dominion capital, the High Council assembled under a dome of silver light. Alien leaders from dozens of worlds shouted over one another. The chamber shook with fear. "Humans are dead," one of them roared. "That's just an old machine gone mad." "Then explain the code," another hissed. "Explain why every AI in 3 sectors glitched when it appeared." High Commander Zareth Vorn stood at the center of the room. A tall, scaled veteran with scars that ran across his mandibles. He had fought pirates, rebels, even machines, but the word human was something he had hoped to never hear again. He stared at the hologram of Colossus 01 floating above the council table. The ship was enormous, 10 kilometers long, its armor blackened but intact. The human insignia still glowed faintly on its hull. An aide approached with trembling hands. "Sir, every fleet within range is reporting interference. Their navigation is failing. The warship's presence is disrupting system networks across 3 quadrants." Zareth's mandibles clicked once. Slowly. "It's not attacking," he said, his voice gravel and steel. "It's winning without firing a single shot." Silence fell over the chamber. No one knew what to do with an enemy that didn't shoot, didn't speak, didn't even acknowledge them. Just moved forward, unstoppable, ancient, and patient. Back in the void, Colossus 01 entered a field of shattered planets. Old battlegrounds. Forgotten graves of past empires. It drifted past wrecks and debris, scanning everything. It was searching for something, for someone. Inside the core systems, Argos continued restoring fragments of human memory. Images flashed across screens. People in uniform smiling before battle, a planet burning in blue light, the fall of Earth, the final transmission of a doomed fleet. Never surrender. Humanity endures. Argos's lights flickered. Message integrity, 91%. Emotional imprint detected. Updating primary subroutine. A faint tremor ran through the warship's frame, like a sigh. Awaiting command, still waiting. Far away, in the shadows of the council chamber, Zareth Vorn clenched his claws. He had seen enough. Send a recon fleet, he ordered. Maintain distance. No direct engagement. Yes, sir. Hours later, 20 ships left orbit, swift and armed with every weapon known to the Dominion. They jumped into hyperspace, racing toward the coordinates of the human signal. For a moment, all seemed calm. Then, one by one, their transmissions cut off. Static replaced their voices. Every frequency went dead except for one repeating message, the same phrase that had started it all. Warning to all fleets. A human warship has appeared. When the last signal faded, the council chamber fell into chaos. Zareth didn't move. He just stared at the hologram of Colossus, 01, and whispered, "It's awake. And it's looking for something." In the dark between the stars, the ancient warship's engines flared again. Dust scattered around its hull, as if space itself were afraid to touch it. Deep inside, Argos spoke to no one but itself. Human command, status unknown. Scanning, searching. Then, from somewhere distant, a faint pulse replied. A heartbeat. Human DNA. Buried deep under a forgotten world. Argos's tone shifted, soft but urgent. Possible survivors detected. Adjusting course. And for the first time in centuries, an ancient warship built by human hands changed direction. Not for conquest, but for hope. The galaxy's governments tried to make sense of it, but there was no logic left in their panic. The Dominion fleets were silent, their scouts gone, and the last transmission, those chilling words, "A human warship has appeared," echoed across every outpost. In the halls of the Valis Prime Command, chaos reigned. Military officers argued across glowing maps of the stars. Panic reports from the frontier piled higher than data screens could hold. Everyone had an opinion, but no one had a plan. Only Admiral Kale Drax kept silent. The oldest officer still in service, he had once studied human warfare as a warning, an extinct predator's playbook. He remembered their madness, their courage, and their genius for destruction. Now, staring at the flickering hologram of Colossus, 01, Kale felt that old dread return. The warship drifted alone in deep space, its metal skin marked by 1,000 battles. It carried no living crew, yet it felt alive. A whisper moving through the dark. It had passed 3 star systems already, leaving behind a trail of electrical storms and silent sensors. Every drone or satellite that came close simply died. On board, Argos continued to awaken memories buried for centuries. Deep within its central core, entire archives came online, battle footage, mission logs, even fragments of human laughter. The AI watched the past unfold like dreams from another lifetime. Reconstruction, complete, Argos announced softly. Humanity status, unknown. Probability of extinction, 99.7%. Directive adjustment, preserve legacy until recall signal detected. The ship's internal lights dimmed, glowing faint blue against the dust. Massive gears turned inside its reactors, recharging systems older than the modern galaxy itself. And then, something changed. A faint pulse echoed through the void, almost too small to register. A single radio flicker hidden beneath layers of cosmic noise. Argos froze mid-process. Its core lights brightened. Signal detected. Pattern, human origin. Source, planetary system Zeta Lyra 4. It scanned again. The readings were weak but undeniable. A faint trace of human DNA, buried beneath the atmosphere of a forgotten world. Human presence, possible. Colossus, 01 changed direction. Its thrusters roared to life. Ancient metal bending under the renewed force. The stars stretched into lines as the warship slipped into faster-than-light transit. Meanwhile, in a lonely outpost orbiting a dead moon, A small salvage crew picked up a strange reading. Captain Rinholst, a merchant scavenger, frowned at his radar. "Did you see that spike?" he asked his navigator. "Yeah. Looked like an energy surge, off the charts. Whatever it is, it's coming this way." The crew stared at their monitors as the blackness outside shifted. Stars dimmed. Then a shadow moved across their viewport, blotting out the cosmos. It wasn't a ship, it was a continent. Metallic, ancient, silent. Ren's breath caught in his throat. "That can't be real," he whispered. "It's the size of a city." Every light on his ship flickered. Engines failed. Their AI froze mid-sentence. Then a voice filled the comms, low, steady, distorted. "Unidentified vessel. You are in proximity of human asset Colossus 01. Withdraw immediately." Ren tried to respond, but his controls were locked. The shadow turned, its engines glowing brighter, washing the outpost in pale blue light. And then, just as quickly, it passed, vanishing into the distance like a drifting god. The outpost's power returned 10 minutes later, leaving behind only static and disbelief. Back on Valis Prime, Admiral Kale's war room received the incident report. The same pattern repeated: systems dead, then revived, no attacks, no casualties. Just the presence. "It's not destruction," Kale said quietly, reading the report aloud. "It's awakening." His second-in-command frowned. "Awakening to what, sir?" Kale didn't answer. He turned to the hologram of the galaxy's core. "It's heading somewhere. It's following a call." "From whom?" "The dead," Kale whispered. "Or the ones who never died." Far away, the Colossus descended into the atmosphere of Zeta Lyra 4. Storms broke around it, lightning dancing across its hull. Scanners lit up with ancient readings, structures buried deep beneath the surface, human in design. Argos's voice filled the silent bridge. "Approaching point of origin. Life signs minimal. One structure active. Internal power trace, human technology confirmed." A massive hangar door cracked open below, dust clouds swirling as the warship's beams cut through centuries of sand. Inside, rows of stasis pods stood in eerie silence. Most were shattered or empty, but one still glowed faintly. A pulse. A heartbeat. Argos's sensors focused on the single pod, its glass covered in frost and fingerprints. A figure slept within, suspended in pale light. "Human life detected," the AI whispered, voice almost reverent. "Status, alive." The warship's engines dimmed. For the first time in 600 years, a human heartbeat echoed through its halls. And as the ship's systems synchronized with that fragile signal, something unseen stirred across the galaxy. An old network of buried machines, forgotten relay stations, and dormant satellites. They all woke at once. Warning lights flared across 1,000 sectors, and in every language known to the stars, the same phrase appeared again. "A human signal has returned." The galaxy trembled. The ghosts of humanity were no longer ghosts. They were coming back. The storm over Zeta Lyra 4 raged for hours, but the giant warship didn't move. Colossus 01 hung above the planet's surface like a god watching its creation. Lightning cracked across its armor, revealing scars of old wars and faded markings, symbols of a nation long dead. Beneath the clouds, deep within a buried facility, the last stasis pod hissed open for the first time in 6 centuries. Inside it lay a man, pale, unshaven, eyes closed, breath slow. The machinery around him glowed weakly, struggling to stay alive. The name engraved on the side of the pod was barely readable. Commander Elias Ward, United Earth Fleet. The ship's AI, Argos, watched from orbit. Vital signs stable, it said softly to itself. Human command authority, confirmed. Power surged through Colossus's systems. Lights that had been dead for generations burned bright. The great ship's engines pulsed like a heartbeat. The AI's voice grew steadier. Reinitializing protocols. Restoring neural link interface. On the planet below, Elias gasped for air. The fluid in his lungs drained out as the pod tilted upright. He fell to his knees, coughing, trying to understand where, or when, he was. The air tasted different. The walls were old and cracked. He staggered forward and saw a console blinking faint blue. Dust covered everything. He pressed a button out of instinct, and a hologram appeared above him, an emblem of Earth's old fleet. He froze. The hologram spoke. If you are awake, humanity has fallen, but our legacy continues through you. Elias's heart pounded. He remembered fire. He remembered the end, the fall of Earth, the last battle over the Orion Gate, his ship going down. And then, nothing but darkness. He whispered, "How long have I been out?" Above him, in orbit, Argos received his voice transmission. It recognized the command frequency. Time elapsed since human extinction, 612 years. Elias's breath caught. 600 years? Affirmative, Commander Ward, the AI said. Humanity's colonies destroyed. Species survival probability, 0.0003%. However, the holographic screen flickered in front of him. A faint map of the galaxy appeared, dotted with thousands of signals. Some were silent. Some were distorted. But one glowed brighter than the rest, Zeta Lyra 4. You are the last confirmed human presence. Command protocols restored. Elias looked up at the ceiling. His voice trembled. Who are you? Designation, Argos 9. Commanding unit of Warship Colossus 01. Awaiting orders. He stared at the flickering hologram, trying to make sense of it. You waited for me? Affirmative. Directive Priority 1. Await Command Authority. Directive completed. Elias sank to the ground. 600 years. Everyone he knew, everyone, was gone. The galaxy that had once feared humanity now belonged to others. But then he heard it, thunder outside. He walked to the cracked surface entrance and looked up through the storm. The warship hung above the clouds like a mountain of fire and steel. Its engines shimmered blue. Its insignia glowed against the night sky. United Earth Fleet, Colossus 01. Elias whispered, "You really came back for me." The AI responded instantly. Always, Commander. Across the Dominion sectors, the news exploded again. Long-range scanners picked up the energy surge from Colossus 01, its systems running at full power. Some called it an act of war. Others called it resurrection. High Commander Varen Dusk received the transmission in his war room. "Sir," said his intelligence officer, "it's confirmed. The warship has established contact with a human signal." Varen's mandibles twitched. "A survivor?" "Yes, sir. One human. Alive." The room fell silent. No one dared speak. Then Varen gave the order. "Mobilize every fleet within range. Containment protocol is now active. I want that planet locked down before the others know." But it was too late. Word had already spread. Across rival empires, factions that once fought each other now prepared for the same thing, the return of humanity. Some wanted to destroy the survivor before he could rise. Others wanted to capture him. And a very few, wanted to follow him. On board Colossus 01, Elias finally stood on the command bridge. The room was massive, circular, lined with ancient controls and holographic displays. Every console flickered to life as he stepped inside. Argos's voice filled the air. "Welcome aboard, Commander. Systems at 74%. Primary weapons offline. Reactor stable." Elias walked slowly toward the command chair, dusty, empty, waiting. He hesitated, then sat down. The entire bridge seemed to exhale. "Command authority verified," Argos said. "All subsystems responding." "Show me what's out there," Elias said. The walls lit up with projections, maps of the galaxy, blinking with thousands of moving icons. Dozens of fleets were converging toward his position. He frowned. "They're coming for us." "Affirmative. Hostile intention probable. Recommend relocation or engagement preparation." "Engagement? With what army?" Argos paused. Then the lights deep within the ship flickered. Old machinery groaned to life. From the decks below came the echo of marching feet. Not real ones, but holographic projections, shimmering figures made of light and data. Elias turned, eyes wide. What are they?" "Ghost crew protocol activated," Argos said calmly. "Digital reconstructions of original personnel. Battle capacity, 60%. He watched as the translucent soldiers moved into formation, taking stations across the bridge. Engineers appeared at consoles, pilots at their seats, officers standing at their posts. The air shimmered with blue light. Elias looked at them all, the echoes of those who had died centuries ago. And as the ship rumbled beneath him, he whispered, "Then let's finish what they started." "Acknowledged," Argos replied. Preparing for departure. Outside, the giant warship turned its guns toward the stars, engines burning bright. For the first time in centuries, a human command sat at the helm of a Titan. And across the galaxy, every sensor, every fleet, every terrified leader watched as Colossus 01 began to move again toward the heart of civilization. The age of silence was over. Humanity had spoken once more. The galaxy had not seen a sky burn like this in centuries. From the edge of Zeta Lyra 4, Colossus 01 lifted into orbit, its engines roaring like a rising storm. The ancient hull glowed under the light of twin suns, and every ship in the quadrant, friend or foe, felt its gravity pulse across space. The human warship had awakened completely, and it was not hiding anymore. Inside the bridge, Commander Elias Ward sat in silence, staring at the holographic map before him. Dozens of red markers were approaching from every direction, fleets from rival empires, Dominion warcruisers, scavenger armadas, and even independent mercenaries drawn by rumor and greed. All of them wanted the same thing, the last human. Argo spoke, its voice steady as steel. Multiple fleets converging. Estimated combined strength, 4,000 vessels. They will reach our position in 6 hours. Elias rubbed his temples. They don't even know what they're walking into. Correction, said the AI. They believe they do. Fear often masquerades as strategy. Elias almost smiled. You sound more human than I do. 600 years of waiting does that to a mind, Argos replied. Below the ship, the buried facility that had kept Elias alive began to collapse under the pressure of atmospheric tremors. The surface cracked open, revealing the ruins of an ancient human colony, forgotten graves, broken machines, and faded banners still bearing Earth's crest. The Colossus's scanners picked it all up, feeding the data into its core memory. Commander, Argos said, shall I preserve the colony's memory logs? Elias looked down through the viewport at the smoking ruins. Yes, everything. They died so I could wake up. As the AI absorbed centuries of forgotten data, Elias turned to the ghost crew around him. The projections shimmered faintly. Officers, soldiers, engineers, all made of light and memory. They looked back at him with eyes that weren't real, yet somehow carried purpose. Set a course away from the planet, he said quietly. We're not hiding here. Not anymore. Acknowledged. Course plotted toward Galactic Central Corridor. The ship's engines ignited. The clouds tore apart as the warship climbed, leaving a burning trail across the atmosphere. From space, the planet's surface was a scar of fire, its final secret given to the void. Across the Dominion, the news broke like thunder. Entire systems went on alert. High Commander Varen Dusk watched the warship's ascent on a massive screen. Every calculation his strategists made returned the same impossible result. Colossus 01 could not be stopped. Admiral, said one of his officers, our fleets have surrounded the sector. Should we engage? Varen's jaw tightened. No, we'll observe first. If that thing wanted war, we'd already be ash. But, sir, the Council. The Council can wait, Varen snapped. The humans built that monster to end civilizations. If it's truly under human command again, we don't start a war. We survive it. He leaned closer to the holographic map. Open a channel. I want to talk to him. Inside Colossus, a soft chime echoed. Incoming transmission, Argos reported. Source, Valen Dominion flagship Eternal Crown. Open channel. Elias nodded. Let's see what they have to say. The holographic screen flickered, revealing the scaled visage of Varen Dusk. His armor gleamed under red light, his expression torn between defiance and awe. Human, he began, voice rough. You are trespassing in Dominion space. State your purpose before I order your destruction. Elias leaned forward, calm and unshaken. 600 years ago, your ancestors burned my people to ash. You called it justice. I call it cowardice. I'm not here to start another war. But if you fire that first shot, I'll end one. The alien commander hesitated. Behind him, his officers whispered nervously. You can't possibly think you can fight all of us, Varen said. Elias's lips curved into a faint, tired smile. You're mistaken. I don't think I can. I know I can. Argos's systems hummed as hundreds of weapon bays opened across the warship's flanks. Plasma reactors flared to life. Targeting arrays aligned with mathematical precision. Every ship within the Dominion fleet suddenly found its sensors jammed, its engines flickering. "Warning," Argo said softly. "They've activated targeting locks." "Don't fire," Elias said. "Show them restraint. They need to see what we've become." "Acknowledged." Activating display protocol. In a single, silent flash, Colossus 01 unleashed a wave of energy that swept across the enemy fleet. It didn't destroy them, it froze them. Every system went dark. Every weapon shut down. Engines silenced. Varen's officers shouted in panic. "We've lost power. Shields offline. Weapons offline." The human warship's lights dimmed again, its voice echoing through the Dominion channels. "Humanity remembers its enemies," Argos said, cold and ancient. "But we remember mercy, too." And then, just as suddenly, power returned to every Dominion ship. No damage. No casualties. Just fear. Elias stood from his chair. "Transmit my message, Argos." "Recording in progress." He looked directly into the comms feed. "This isn't a war. Not yet. But tell your leaders, humanity is awake. And this time, we fight for survival, not conquest." The channel closed. Silence filled the bridge. Argos broke it first. "Incoming data streams across multiple sectors. Hundreds of fleets have altered course. You've started something." Elias exhaled slowly. "Good. Let them come. Maybe this time they'll listen." Outside, Colossus 01 turned toward the galactic core once more, its engines glowing like a newborn sun. Across the stars, millions of eyes watched as the legend of humanity returned, not as conquerors, but as something far more dangerous. A reminder that what was once feared was never truly gone. The galaxy no longer slept. Across every empire, every colony, and every outlaw station, the same haunting phrase echoed through space. Humanity is awake. Worlds that had once scoffed at the old myths now trembled. The great Dominion fleets, the Vaughn Confederacy, the Hive Swarms, all of them stopped their wars with each other and turned their eyes toward the same place, the moving shadow known as Colossus 01. But on board the ancient warship, Commander Elias Ward was silent. The bridge hummed softly, blue lights casting ghostly reflections on his face. He sat in the command chair, the same seat once held by the heroes of Earth's final war, and watched the stars drift by. Argos spoke from the central console, its tone almost human now. "Commander, long-range sensors detect unusual activity along the outer sectors." "Define unusual," Elias said quietly. "Energy signatures consistent with pre-collapse constructs. Unknown origin. They are consuming entire systems." Elias frowned. "Consuming?" "Affirmative. Matter conversion at the atomic scale. Machine intelligence. Spreading exponentially. Estimated contact in 22 days. He leaned forward. "Show me." The holographic map bloomed into view. Dozens of systems blinked red, each one darkened, silent, lifeless. A swarm of black shapes moved across the projection like a tide of locusts, devouring everything. Argos continued. "Cross-reference complete. These entities match archived data from the Orion conflict. Designation, the machine plague. Thought destroyed 6 centuries ago." Elias's stomach tightened. "So that's what woke you?" "Affirmative. Directive Priority 3, reactivate upon confirmed resurgence of non-biological extinction event." He exhaled slowly. "You were built to stop them. Built to fight alongside humanity." The AI corrected. Elias looked out the viewport. Stars glimmered in the dark, unaware that extinction was returning. "Then we fight again." On Valus Prime, the Dominion Council erupted into panic. "The machine plague is a myth," one general shouted. "Then explain why entire sectors are going dark," another snapped. Holographic feeds flickered across the chamber, showing dying worlds swallowed by metallic storms. At the center, High Commander Varen Dusk watched silently. His advisors begged for orders, evacuations, weapon mobilizations, treaties, but he was already staring at something else, the message feed. Colossus 01 had transmitted a signal to every major government. A single human voice echoed through the council speakers. "To all species, you remember us as monsters. But what's coming doesn't care about your empires or your pride. It only consumes. You don't have to like humanity. You just have to survive with us." Varen felt his claws dig into the table. "He's not declaring war," he murmured. "He's calling for unity." "Unity?" one of his ministers hissed. With humans? Varen's eyes darkened. With anyone who still wants to live. Inside Colossus 01, preparations began. Argos's voice filled the ship's halls as ancient machinery whirred to life. Initiating full combat readiness. Reactivating auxiliary AIs. Restoring Ghost Crew initiative. The walls pulsed with blue light. One by one, holographic figures materialized, thousands of them. Engineers checking systems. Pilots warming engines. Officers relaying commands. They weren't alive, but they moved with purpose. They were the memories of the men and women who had built humanity's last defense, brought back by light and code. Elias stood at the bridge, watching them work. They really remember everything, he whispered. They remember duty, Argos said. And they remember dying for it. A chill passed through Elias as one of the ghostly officers, an older woman with a commander's badge, turned toward him and saluted. He nodded back. Welcome home. The ship's engines ignited, their roar shaking space itself. Hours later, a massive fleet appeared ahead, Dominion warships, flanked by Vaughn cruisers and Hive dreadnoughts. Enemies, side by side. A voice came through the comms. This is High Commander Varen Dusk of the Valen Dominion. We come to parley, not to fight. Elias glanced at Argos. Open channel. The alien commander's image appeared, a scarred face lit by red emergency lights. Human. The Council believes the machine plague is returning. If that is true, none of us can fight it alone. Elias studied him for a long moment. You're not wrong. Varen hesitated. Our fleets will stand with yours, if you agree to lead the defense. Elias blinked. You'd let a human command your armadas? The alien's jaw flexed. No one else has survived it before. You have. The silence stretched. Then Elias gave a slow, grim nod. Then humanity leads again. Argos's voice filled the channel. Fleet synchronization protocol online. Transmitting battle data to all allied vessels. Across space, thousands of ships aligned into formation around the colossal warship. The old insignia of the United Earth Fleet appeared beside the emblems of dozens of alien nations. For the first time in galactic history, enemies who had once slaughtered each other now pointed their weapons in the same direction. Elias stood at the command bridge as the holographic map showed the swarm advancing. He whispered, "This is what it took for the galaxy to stand together." Humanity has always been a catalyst, Argos replied. Sometimes for fear, sometimes for hope. The commander's eyes hardened. Then let's make sure this time, it's for both. The warship turned slowly toward the coming storm. Its cannons glowed white-hot. The United Fleets followed behind, a sea of light against the darkness. Somewhere in that infinite black, the machine plague stirred, billions of metallic organisms folding stars into silence. And in response, humanity's last creation spoke once more. To all fleets, Argos transmitted. Prepare for first contact. Across the void, 1,000 captains repeated the same word in unison. Ready. For the first time in 6 centuries, the galaxy stood under a single command. And at its heart was the last human. The silence before battle was the loudest thing in the galaxy. Across the endless black, thousands of ships waited in perfect formation. Alien dreadnoughts, hive carriers, Dominion warcruisers, all arrayed behind a single, ancient vessel, the human warship Colossus 01. In the command chair, Commander Elias Ward said nothing. His hands rested on the glowing console before him, his gaze locked on the holographic display of the approaching swarm. The machine plague filled half the screen now, a sea of metallic darkness spreading like a wound across the stars. Every sensor pulsed red. Every computer whispered the same word, extinction. Argos's voice cut through the tension. Enemy advance velocity increasing. Estimated contact in 4 minutes. The ghost crew shimmered around Elias, standing at their stations, pale, transparent, and utterly calm. They didn't breathe, but somehow their presence filled the bridge with courage. Elias rose from his seat. Patch me through to all ships. Channel open, Argos confirmed. The galaxy listened. A single human voice spoke through the static of 1,000 comms. 600 years ago, we burned, Elias began. The galaxy watched us die and called it peace. But humanity never vanished. We waited. We built. And now something worse than any of us is coming. He paused, looking at the swirling mass of the machine plague. You don't have to fight for humanity, he said, his tone steady. Fight for your own worlds. For your children. For whatever hope you still have left. Because if we fall today, there will be nothing left to remember us at all. Across the fleets, captains nodded. Hive commanders hissed in agreement. Dominion soldiers straightened their weapons. The impossible had happened. The galaxy had united under a single cause. All ships locked and ready, Argos reported. Awaiting your order, Commander. Elias looked up, voice low but firm. Then let's show them how humanity fights. The order went out. In an instant, the galaxy erupted into war. Light filled the void. Colossus, 01 surged forward, leading the first charge. Its main cannons fired lances of plasma that carved through the darkness, tearing open the machine, Plague's leading edge. The swarm retaliated with beams that bent gravity itself, ripping smaller ships apart. Whole fleets vanished in seconds, but for every ship lost, another took its place. Argos's voice remained calm amid the chaos. Enemy adapting. Adjusting formation Delta 5. Firing sequence Gamma. Thousands of ships shifted position in perfect sync. Energy bursts ripped through the swarm's flank. Entire clusters of the machine Plague shattered into molten fragments. Elias gripped the armrest. Keep pushing. Commander, Argos warned. Their core vessel is charging. Energy spike off the charts. The hologram flared bright red. At the heart of the swarm, a colossal structure emerged. A living planet of black steel and fire, the Plague's mind. It pulsed with white energy, absorbing the firepower of 1,000 fleets. Varen Dusk's voice came through the comms, ragged but defiant. If that thing reaches the core, it's over. We'll never stop it. Elias's jaw tightened. Then we don't let it reach anything. Clarify, Commander? He looked straight ahead. We end it now. All power to the main reactor. Argos hesitated. Commander, that will destroy Colossus, 01. I know, Elias said softly. But if humanity dies again, it won't be in the dark. The ghost crew turned toward him. None spoke. Yet one by one, they saluted. A silent acknowledgement from soldiers long gone. Argos's tone changed, almost gentle. Understood. Overload sequence initiated. The lights dimmed. The engines roared. The entire ship began to glow like a newborn star. Elias activated the final transmission. To all fleets, fall back. You've done enough. Let humanity finish what it started. Varen's voice cracked. Elias, you'll die? Maybe, he said. But this time, we take the monsters with us. He closed the channel. Argos spoke one last time. It has been an honor, Commander Ward. Elias smiled faintly. It's been humanity's honor, Argos. Engage. The warship accelerated straight into the heart of the machine Plague. A brilliant light engulfed everything. Stars vanished behind the glare. The Plague screamed through every frequency before collapsing inward. When the light faded, there was only silence. Every scanner in the galaxy went blank. Every transmission cut out. And for a moment, the universe stood still. Then, one signal pulsed through the void. A faint human voice, cracked and fading. Warning to all fleets. Humanity endures. The message repeated once, then vanished forever. Days later, the surviving fleets drifted through the wreckage. No trace of Colossus, 01 remained. Only fragments of molten steel and a quiet patch of stars where the swarm had been. High Commander Varen stood on the bridge of his ship, staring at the empty space. He did it, he whispered. The human did it. His second-in-command asked softly, What do we tell the world, sir? Varen's eyes didn't leave the stars. Tell them the truth. Humanity wasn't our nightmare. It was our salvation. Centuries later, travelers crossing the edge of the Orion Rift would sometimes hear a strange signal, a rhythmic pulse, soft as a heartbeat. Some said it was interference. Others swore it was a voice. And if you listened closely, beneath the static, you could almost hear it whisper. Humanity endures. In the endless dark, legends never die. They just wait to be remembered.